The world watches with bated breath. Geopolitical fault lines tremble. From contested territories to diplomatic chambers, whispers of surrender fill the air. Never before have we witnessed such a surge in the willingness of fighting forces to lay down their arms. This phenomenon compels us to confront a fundamental question. Are we witnessing the dawn of a new era of conflict resolution, or is this merely a prelude to an even greater storm? Leaders across the globe are grappling with the implications of this extraordinary turn of events. Statements from heads of state now cautiously weave language of peace and reconciliation. The strategic calculus of war is undergoing a profound transformation. The reasons behind this wave of surrenders are complex and multifaceted. Understanding the motivations of those who choose to surrender is paramount if we are to navigate the treacherous terrain of modern warfare. Surrender, an act laden with both shame and relief, has always been an integral part of warfare. In the current geopolitical climate, surrender has taken on a new dimension, a calculated move driven by a complex interplay of factors. Central to this shift is the increasingly prominent role of international pressure and the specter of war crimes tribunals. The Geneva Conventions have established a framework for humane treatment of combatants who lay down their arms. The promise of leniency, however, is a double-edged sword. Can true reconciliation be achieved without addressing past grievances? Can societies heal without holding perpetrators accountable for their actions? The challenge for policymakers and military strategists is to strike a delicate balance, to offer a path to peace without compromising justice or sowing the seeds of future instability. The geopolitical landscape, much like the desert sands, is in constant flux. Alliances shift, power dynamics ebb and flow, and the rules of the game are perpetually rewritten. The recent wave of surrenders has only accelerated this process, ushering in an era of profound uncertainty and realignment. For the victors, the spoils of war are not merely territorial. Each surrender represents an opportunity to reshape the geopolitical order, to consolidate influence and to project power on a global scale. This newfound leverage, however, comes with its own set of challenges. Managing the expectations of allies, navigating the complexities of post-conflict reconstruction, and mitigating the risks of renewed hostilities all require deft diplomacy and strategic foresight. The ripple effects of these power shifts extend far beyond the immediate conflict zones. Understanding these dynamics is essential for anyone seeking to navigate the treacherous currents of international politics in the 21st century. The decision to surrender is never taken lightly. It is a moment of profound reckoning, a stark admission that the costs of continued resistance outweigh the potential benefits. For military commanders on the ground, this calculus involves weighing factors such as troop morale, dwindling supplies, and the likelihood of achieving strategic objectives. Yet the decision to surrender is rarely a purely military one. Political considerations, both domestic and international, often play an equally significant role. Leaders must assess the potential fallout from surrender, weighing the risks of appearing weak or betraying the cause against the potential benefits of ending the bloodshed. The human cost of war, often obscured by the fog of propaganda, weighs heavily on the minds of those who choose to surrender. Surrender in this context becomes not an act of cowardice but a final, desperate act of compassion. In the annals of warfare, cruelty and barbarity have often reigned supreme. Yet, amidst this grim tapestry, there are also glimmers of hope, moments when compassion and empathy have tempered the brutality of war. The concept of humane treatment, enshrined in international law and increasingly embraced as a strategic imperative, represents one such glimmer. The underlying principle is simple. Treating surrendering soldiers and civilians with dignity and respect is not only morally right, but also strategically sound. By offering guarantees of humane treatment, warring parties can create incentives for surrender, potentially shortening conflicts and saving lives. Conversely, brutality and reprisals only breed resentment and fuel future cycles of violence. The strategic value of humane treatment extends beyond the battlefield. History, as the saying goes, may not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. The current wave of surrenders, while unprecedented in its scale and scope, is not without historical precedent. By studying past conflicts, we can glean valuable insights into the motivations of surrendering parties, the challenges of post-conflict reconciliation, and the long-term consequences of different approaches to peacemaking. The end of World War II, for example, offers a cautionary tale. While the unconditional surrender of the Axis powers brought an end to the fighting, it also created a power vacuum that contributed to the emergence of the Cold War. The experience of post-conflict reconstruction in places like Iraq and Afghanistan provides further lessons. These experiences underscore the importance of a comprehensive approach to peacebuilding. War, by its very nature, is a realm of chaos and uncertainty. The fog of war, that impenetrable veil of confusion and ambiguity, obscures the battlefield, making it difficult to assess the situation accurately, predict the enemy's intentions, or anticipate the consequences of one's actions. This inherent unpredictability makes it exceedingly challenging to forecast the trajectory of conflicts, even when large-scale surrenders appear to signal a decisive shift in momentum. The recent surge in surrenders, while seemingly indicative of a decisive shift in the balance of power, should be interpreted with caution. The motivations behind these surrenders remain opaque, the long-term consequences uncertain. What appears to be a definitive victory for one side could easily morph into a Pyrrhic victory, sowing the seeds of future conflict and instability. Prudence, therefore, dictates a healthy dose of skepticism and a willingness to question assumptions. While the battlefield may be the most visible arena of conflict, the true test of a nation's mettle lies in the resilience of its society. The capacity to withstand the shocks of war, to maintain social cohesion amidst adversity, and to emerge from conflict stronger than before is the hallmark of a truly resilient nation. The decision to surrender, even when driven by strategic considerations, can have profound psychological and social consequences. The surrendering population may experience a sense of humiliation, a loss of faith in their leaders, and a fragmentation of their social fabric. Navigating these challenges requires empathy, understanding, and a commitment to rebuilding trust. History is replete with examples of societies that continued to resist occupation and oppression through non-violent means. Understanding the dynamics of societal resilience and resistance is crucial for policymakers and military strategists alike. In an era of instant gratification and 24/7 news cycles, it is tempting to seek quick fixes and immediate results. Yet the pursuit of peace, a complex and multifaceted endeavor, demands patience, perseverance, and a willingness to play the long game. The recent wave of surrenders, while potentially signaling a turning point in various conflicts, should not be mistaken for the end of the road. The hard work of building peace, of healing divisions, of addressing the root causes of conflict is only just beginning. This process, often fraught with setbacks and frustrations, requires unwavering commitment and a long-term perspective. Sustainable peace can only be built from within through dialogue, reconciliation, and a shared vision for the future. The promise of peace, while elusive, is worth striving for. The current geopolitical landscape, marked by shifting alliances, resurgent great power competition, and rapid technological advancements, is in a state of flux. The recent wave of surrenders, by altering the balance of power in key regions, has only added to this sense of uncertainty and unpredictability. The question on the minds of policymakers, analysts, and citizens alike is whether we are witnessing the emergence of a new world order. The answer, as with most things geopolitical, is complex and multifaceted. On the one hand, the established order, characterized by U.S. primacy and a rules-based international system, is undoubtedly under strain. The rise of China, the resurgence of Russia, and the growing assertiveness of regional powers are challenging the status quo and creating a more multipolar world. On the other hand, it is premature to proclaim the demise of the old order or the emergence of a new one. The contours of the emerging order, however, remain unclear. As the dust settles on the battlefields and the world grapples with the implications of this unprecedented wave of surrenders, a sense of cautious optimism hangs in the air. Could this be the turning point, the moment when the tide turns decisively against the scourge of war? The answer, as always, is shrouded in uncertainty, a mix of hope and trepidation. The human cost of conflict, measured in shattered lives, broken families, and displaced populations, serves as a stark reminder of the urgency of pursuing peace. The recent surrenders, by potentially saving countless lives and creating opportunities for dialogue, offer a glimmer of hope in a world often defined by darkness. Yet peace, as we have learned time and again, is not merely the absence of war. It is a process, not an event. It requires sustained effort, unwavering commitment, and a willingness to address the root causes of conflict. The path ahead will be fraught with challenges. The scars of war run deep, and the temptations of revenge and retribution will be difficult to resist. The future remains unwritten. Let us choose wisely.